Hello, welcome back to a new episode of the 6 a.m. Club where we start our day inspired. This week, the inspiration for today's quote comes from a yoga class I was doing the other day. I am not a yogi. I am not good at yoga, but I've been enjoying it lately. And I love it because specifically the instructor always does a lot of mindset work during the sessions. And that's my favorite part of the class, to be honest. And this week, she mentioned something that resonated with me a lot, maybe because of where I am right now and the fact that I have been focusing more on rest lately because of feeling overwhelmed and a little bit stressed. And she said, remind yourself you are a human being and not a human doing. And it really resonated with me. I have to be honest. I think it's a very thought-provoking statement, quote, that invites us to remember our essential nature. In our modern and fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the relentless pursuit of doing and achieving and accomplishing. But what if we pause for a moment to remember that we are first and foremost human beings? You are a person, an individual. Being human is a beautiful journey filled with moments of joy and love and growth, and sometimes sorrow and stress and negative things. But I think it's important to explore what it really means to be present in our lives and realize that we are enough just because we are, that we are right where we need to be. We're not ahead, we're not behind, we're just where we are meant to be. And that is, a lot of times, I have to be honest, hard for me because I am a very task-oriented person, a very result-oriented person. And the doing is typically dominating my thoughts and my days. And these days that I have been able to slow down just a tiny bit, which just that has been challenging, and maybe put a pause on some of the things that I'm typically doing and thinking about doing, I have realized that sometimes I need to focus more on the being than the doing. The pursuit of doing can lead to stress, to burnout, to a sense of disconnection from ourselves and from others. And sometimes we just need to embrace stillness. Stillness is where we find our true selves. There's many benefits of slowing down and sitting still, even when it's hard to do so. Things like meditation are really hard for me, but I've been doing a little bit more of it, and I've been really enjoying just simply being in the moment. The more I've been thinking about what this yoga teacher said, it was not yoga, it was a flow class, but it's similar to yoga. I'm not an expert, as I said, so sorry if I am confusing the two things, but the point is, as the more I've been thinking about this reminder of focusing on the being versus the doing, I've been thinking a lot about the meaning of this, right? Another perspective from this is the gift of imperfection. Our humanity is defined by imperfection, right? A lot of times, and this is a recovered perfectionist speaking, we're constantly focused on the doing because we believe that the more we do, the more we can get close to perfect. And we are constantly pursuing perfection. And for me, years ago, it was very liberating to realize that perfection doesn't exist. It's just an utopia. We are imperfect beings, and it's okay not to have all the answers and not to be perfect. And when you focus on the being, you realize that while perfection doesn't exist, we are perfect the way we are with all our imperfections. The other thing that it led me to think about is the joy of connection. Connection with others is a fundamental part of our human existence. And nurturing relationships and building meaningful connections is an important part of being, right? We are enough just by being as individuals, but our human nature is to be social beings. Therefore, connection is super important. And sometimes we're so focused in the doing, in the task, in the achievement, in the goal pursuit that we forget to make the time to connect with people who are most important for us or to expand our network. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to invite you to pause today, even just for a few moments, and remind yourself that you are a human being, that you're not defined by your accomplishments or your to-do list. And I want to ask you this question. I want you to ask yourself this question. What small step can you take today to embrace your human beingness? You know, our journey as human beings is a precious gift. And by slowing down and embracing imperfection and savoring the present moment, you're honoring the essence of who you are. I am honoring the essence of who I am. So I want to invite you today, whenever you're listening to this podcast, to slow down for a few moments and just embrace your essence and acknowledge that you are a human being, that you are where you are supposed to be right now, where you are meant to be, and that you're perfect the way you are with all your imperfections. Thank you so much for joining me one more week here at the 6 a.m. Club, where we start our day inspired. Until our next episode, I hope you find joy in simply being, and I'll talk to you next Monday for a new episode of the Leading Yourself podcast.